Hi, Sunny here. Welcome to this edition of Ask Starbase. My question today is from Lion, and Lion would like to know, why is ice cold? Well, did you know that ice has 15 different crystal forms? Or that there really is no such thing as making something colder? But before I get ahead of myself, let's try to isolate the answer to Lion's question. To understand how this works, let's consider the definition of temperature and heat. Temperature is a measure of the speed or energy of the atoms in a given substance. To put it more formally, temperature is a measure of the average amount of kinetic energy possessed by the particles of an object. Atoms are always in motion. The faster they move, the more energy they contain. If a substance with fast-moving atoms meets a substance with slower atoms, the energy from the fast-moving want to move into the substance with the slower-moving atoms. When the two substances are at the same temperature, scientists call this thermal equilibrium. Heat is energy, but it really is energy on the move. Heat is the transfer of energy from a high-temperature object to a lower-temperature object. The faster a thing's molecules move, the more heat that substance contains. And because everything is made of molecules, and molecules are in constant motion, everything contains at least some heat. So for example, as we know, ice has a lower temperature than room temperature water. Because ice molecules move slowly and cluster together, they produce a relatively low amount of heat. When ice is placed in a glass of water whose molecules are moving at a greater rate, the ice begins to absorb the energy, because heat always travels from regions of relative warmth to colder areas in order to equalize temperature. As the water molecules lose energy, they begin to slow down and consequently to cool. So it's kind of the opposite of what we might think. When we put ice in water, the ice doesn't give its cold to the water, it takes heat from the water. As a result, there is no such thing as cold flowing from the ice to the drink. It's the same when we're holding a piece of ice. The heat from our body being higher in amount moves to the ice through our skin in order to attain thermal equilibrium between ice and the body. Due to this loss and absence of heat at that instant on our skin, it makes us feel cold. So is ice cold? Well, cold is a perfectly good adjective to describe when something is not hot or when its temperature is low. But we don't measure cold, we measure heat content. We sometimes use words to describe conditions that reflect the absence of something rather than the presence of something else. Just like darkness is the absence of light, cold is the absence of heat. So when we measure the temperature of ice, we are measuring how much heat it has, not how much cold it has. So Lion, thank you for your question, and thank you for joining me for this edition of Ask Starbase. If you have a STEM question you would like to ask us, you can email us at ask@starbase-ct.com or go to our website, www.starbase-ct.com. Thanks. Bye.